Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays collection. I'm your host Mike, and today we're going to look at some more film noir. I know I've made a lot of film noir content here lately, but I had so much. I was trying to release it in November and be a noir November, but I have so many good ones that I want to show and recommend that I got some more to show you. So today we're going to focus on some heavyweights, if you will. Heavyweight, some of the best actresses. I'm not going to go deep into film noir actresses, but I'm going to cover a couple of them that were pretty good. And I got a few movies by them. And I'm going to show some other movies by some top directors. So let's get right into that, guys. Film noir. And the first one I want to show, this is a Kino Classic release. This is a movie directed by George Sherman, starring the ever great John Payne. John Payne, great, underrated actor in my opinion. He did a lot of good film noir. He did a lot of westerns he's really good in. But probably what he's most famous for is being in Miracle on 34th Street, the original 1947 Christmas movie, classic, all-time classic. But the movie I'm going to talk about today is Larceny. This is a new release. It's pretty new. I think it came out this year. But it also stars Joan Caulfield, Dan Duryea, which I've covered a lot on my channel. Dan Duryea, like John Payne, kind of an underrated actor, but he was in a lot of good movies, and he's very memorable once you see him. You may forget him, but you may not. But I think he's a very memorable character actor, if nothing else. And it's also got an early role by Shelley Winters, playing I guess you could say a mall. The girl that's kind of hanging on the mob boss, and she's kind of in between, got her eyes on other guys in the gang, so to speak. So Larceny's really good. In a nutshell, it's kind of a tale of a kind of a group of a small-time grifters, meaning they kind of cook up a little scam, maybe dealing with, business dealings, property, land and stuff. And they pretty much, trick somebody out of their stuff, and, they have alias names, and they go from town to town and everything. So it opens with John Payne and Dan Duryea kind of getting kind of caught in a land deal. The owner kind of found out some stuff about them. So they're out, kicking, out on the streets, what are we going to do next? What are we going to do now? And it's John Payne's I want to do one more thing and then I'm out. And Dan Duryea is kind of yeah, whatever. So they cook up this scheme with this war widow. Her husband was a well-known member of the town. It's a small town. Everyone knows him. He was all-American, just perfect guy. Went off to war, was a hero, and got killed. The girl's kind of, she's kind of got money, and she's, really good, a really good person. And what they do is John Payne kind of poses as her boyfriend who got killed, as his war buddy. And just scamming it all the way down and stuff. And of course, they start to fall in love a little bit, and he's starting to have a change of heart, and that's where it starts getting really twisty. There's a lot of twists and turns at that point. Shelley Winters is really good in this movie. She's just you can't get rid of her. She's just like an octopus at times. She's got her hands on everything, and she's just messing up everything. She's just all over the place. She's, having a secret relationship with John Payne. John Payne's trying to get rid of her. But yeah, really good movie. I recommend. The only thing I didn't really like about it was the ending. The ending just kind of ends. I don't really want to give it away so you won't watch it, but it's really worth it. This movie is really good. the ending is just like, you can tell they maybe thought out the ending and it wasn't originally going to be that. And at the last minute, you know, the studio's like, nah, we got to have this. It's got to end like that. We can't let it do this. So it's kind of, you know, a lot of good movies have ended kind of abruptly, like, how did it end like that, you know? So I think Larceny's one of those, and it's really good. Especially if you're a big fan of John Payne, Dan Duryea. I mean, they're great in this movie. Next up, this is a double feature release. This was part of one of the Warner Brothers film noir box sets from the mid-2000s. I think this was in number 2, number 3 volume. This is a double feature with Crime Wave and Decoy, which are classics. Crime Wave is great. Sterling Hayden. It's got a young Charles Bronson in it as just he's really good in this. It's a classic film noir. And Decoy also is a really good movie. And the problem I have with this disc is a technical issue. Warner Brothers between 2007, 2010, something like that, they had a lot of issues with some of their double-sided discs where you have to flip it and it's got a movie on each side. There was a lot of mastering problems. It all came from one plant in America, and a lot of discs they wouldn't play, or they would freeze, or they would just be scrambled or something. So I found this out. Decoy would not play. It played for like 2 minutes, and I was like getting into it, and it's like, it won't play. So I'm really, really kind of irritated at that. But Crime Wave is perfect. It has special features that play and everything. But Decoy's a really good movie. It's kind of hard to find too. And I was like, yeah, I got both of these on one package, but you know, couldn't play it. There's a YouTuber by the name Spencer. His channel, Damn Full Idealistic Crusader. Check out his channel because he did a whole episode where he talks about this problem that some of these Warner Brothers DVDs had during that time period. It was just weird how I watched it, found that out, and then like a week later he did an episode about it. So it's like, what do you call that? Serendipity or something? I don't know. It was weird that, you know. But he covers that really good. But yeah, great movie, Crime Wave. I'm not sure if you get that box set, it's the same problem. Apparently these are the same actual discs that came. I don't know. They have a problem with these. I had another problem with another Warner Brothers one, San Quentin. It's an early Warner Brothers gangster prison movie with Humphrey Bogart and everything. That one kind of did the same thing. But apart from that, Crime Wave, I highly recommend. Check that out. If you can get this really dirt cheap, get it just for Crime Wave and just watch Crime Wave, because it's kind of hard to find. I wish it would come out on Blu-ray and get a good upgrade of it. And Decoy is definitely a movie I want to see. So there you go. There's that one. That disc I actually had for a little while, and I finally got around to watching it and found the problem. Next up, we got a couple movies by the director Jules Dassin. Jules Dassin kind of hit the scene in the mid-40s, did a lot of great movies, and he ended up kind of falling prey to the blacklist and ended up going to Europe to work at that point. I'm not sure. I think he was blacklisted during the whole, communist House Un-American Committee, all that stuff going on. So he made a few good movies before he went to Europe, and then he made some more really good movies in Europe, like Rififi. That's a really good one. But this is one I got. This is an Arrow release. This is The Naked City. And this is a Arrow Academy Blu-ray. It's really nice. It looks really good. It's got some really good features on here. One of the features is kind of a short film from that time period, like 1950, 51, talking about the Red Scare and writers and directors and actors being blacklisted, and it actually shows a few blacklisted people that take part in the film, and they're basically talking about it and, you know, everything. So I don't know where it was shown, if it was shown in theaters, but it's really cool. That's on there. There's a documentary on here, and I had got this from a private seller on eBay, and I got it. I was all excited. Yeah, I got Blu-ray, and I opened it up to watch it, and one of the discs is the Criterion Collection DVD release of The Naked City. So I guess whoever sold this had a couple of versions. He put them together. So I got the DVD version when Criterion put it out originally in early 2000s, The Naked City. So I got that one. That's got one feature I think on this that's not on the Blu-ray from Arrow. So if that all makes sense, guys. So it was kind of a 2-for-1. Didn't know I had that, or maybe I didn't read the seller's information before I bought it. Maybe he listed that, but it was a nice surprise nonetheless. Got it really good price too, so it was really cool. Got that. The Naked City, famous for being filmed on location. It was one of the first on-location movies. Takes place in New York City. A lot of influence from the crime photographer Ouija. He's a famous photographer that took crime photos. He almost made an art form out of the crime photo, and it's kind of based on some of the photographs and how they look, the lighting, the black and white, the dark. It really good movie. I think later on this was a TV show, but yeah, check this out. Really good. Jules Dassin directed that. Next up, I have another one from Jules Dassin. This is a early Criterion Collection DVD. I think it's from 2001, 2005. Okay. And this movie is called Thieves Highway. Another really good movie. Film noir, crime. This time starring the great Richard Conte. He's in this. He's great. Richard Conte, another underrated actor that did a lot of good stuff in the 40s and 50s. Some of the extra people in here is Lee J. Cobb, who he's always great in all the movies he's in. But the actress in here that really makes a big impact is Valentina Cortese. Really good. She was in a few good movies in the 50s. Another really interesting thing about this, it has Jack Oakey in it. Jack Oakey famously is best known as being in The Great Dictator, Charlie Chaplin's 1940 classic, where he plays the Mussolini type dictator of a country that's supposed to be like Italy. And stuff like that. He's really funny in that. But he was a comic going all the way back to the 20s and stuff. And he was in some movies with W.C. Fields in the 30s. I think $1 Million Legs. He's been in a lot of cool stuff, but it's really cool to see him later on, older. He would pass away, I believe, in the 50s. And this was made in 49. So I believe he didn't live much longer. He died somewhere in there, so you seem a little bit older. It's really interesting, but about this story, it's about a group of truckers in California who go and get produce and try to get it to the market, beat other truckloads of fruit and vegetables and stuff to the market so they can get the big money, you know, the big first come, first served money, you know, at the market and stuff. Things kind of work different then than it does now, where you have a lot of private companies. Now you got the big industry, the Walmarts and the Krogers and the different, you know, chains that work. And they have company farms and stuff now, but this was like independent stuff. It tells the story of a guy coming back from the war. He's got big ideals. He's got a big pocket full of money. He wants to help his father out by being a trucker with him, but unbeknownst to him, his father had a big accident before he came home, and lost the use of his legs when basically a crooked fruit guy, the fruit guy played by Lee J. Cobb, basically got him really drunk and sent him off, and he wrecked and tore his truck up, and he's paralyzed now. So he's basically going to get back at Lee J. Cobb. He's going to get the fruit in, he's going to get his money, and if anything, he's going to get his dad's money, and he's going to get back at him and everything. So it's really good movie. Richard Conte really has a just all-around great performance. So Thieves Highway, it's also available on Blu-ray by Arrow, but I just went and got one of the older Criterion DVDs. I had that for a while, so I should probably upgrade to Blu-ray sometime. Next up, this is a new release from Criterion, came out I think in October. This is the Raoul Walsh classic, 1940s High Sierra, with Ida Lupino and Humphrey Bogart. This would be basically the last movie that Humphrey Bogart would, take second billing or third billing to. This basically made him a bankable star at this point, after this, and then he would make the Maltese Falcon next, and the rest is history. But actually, Ida Lupino was the big star of the movie and stuff, and she's excellent as always. Very talented. What can I say about High Sierra? Great movie, great gangster. The story is just great. And what's really cool about this Blu-ray is it shows Raoul Walsh's remake of the same story 9 years later, 1949. He made a Western version of it, more or less, called Colorado Territory, with Joel McCrea and I think Virginia Mayo is in it, and that is really good too. They're both really good movies. Not exactly just alike, but more or less the same. But what's really cool is Criterion included this on here, and it's a 2-disc collection. Each disc has, one has High Sierra, the second has Colorado Territory. Each one of them has supplements, a lot of supplements for each disc. So it's a lot to take in. This is probably one of the best discs of the year. It's definitely one of the best Criterion discs of the year. It's got my vote for that. So it's really good. High Sierra. The big Barnes & Noble 50% off sale for November, I believe, is over now. Hopefully a lot of you had a chance to pick this up during the sale. I got this, I pre-ordered it and got it. So really, above all, highly recommend High Sierra. Check that out. Next up, I have an older Criterion Blu-ray release of another 1950 release. This is a bona fide film noir classic, textbook classic, The Asphalt Jungle, John Huston's 1950 classic with Sterling Hayden. Nice cast in it, let me tell you about it, who's all in it. It's also famous for having Marilyn Monroe as one of her first kind of roles that really got her out there. It's got a great cast. I can't think of they don't really list it here, but the supplements on here is really good. It's got this documentary from 1983. A French film crew interviewed Sterling Hayden on his boat. He was living in France at the time, and they did this documentary called Pharaohs of Chaos, where they do an interview with Sterling Hayden, and he's basically talking about his film career, his writing career, and stuff like that, which was near the end of his life. He had lived a rough life, and stuff like that. Definitely check out the history of Sterling Hayden. Great actor, just an all-around guy. Just the guy really lived life. He had a lot of experience in life, and his life is really interesting. It's got a lot of interviews. It's got an Eddie Muller interview, John Bailey. It's got some archival footage, some TV stuff. really good stuff. The Asphalt Jungle, this has been out for a while. Definitely recommend getting this if you don't have this in your collection already. And next up, we're going to talk about a few actresses of film noir. I'm not really making a big deal about it, but I'm just going to spotlight a few actresses that's done some really cool film noir over the years. And these movies are really good. So first up, this is Joseph von Sternberg's movie he made in, I think, 1952, Mako, co-starring with Robert Mitchum. Really good movie, takes place, you know, overseas. It's got a great performance by William Bendix, who's always good in, like, he's always good as a heavy, or like somebody's buddy from the war or something. They come back home, and he's been famously in a few good film noirs. Really good movie. It's got some other people in it. Jane Russell is just really excellent in this. Ever beautiful. Her and Robert Mitchum made such a good teaming. Really good. And this is definitely a movie you should pick up. This is actually the French version of it. When I bought it back in the day, I thought I was getting the Warner Archive version of it, but it's actually some kind of French version, which has the same artwork, but the back is all in French. But it doesn't change the movie or anything, but just to let you know, if you're searching for it, to beware and pay attention. So there you go, Mako. Next up, this is another teaming of Jane Russell and Robert Mitchum in the very, very good His Kind of Woman. This is a great movie directed by John Farrow. This was a Howard Hughes production. He put this together. Jane Russell was kind of his ingenue, his, girlfriend at one time. He modeled his blueprints of his designs of bras, different stuff like that. He designed it on her. I mean, famously, he produced the 1943 Western, The Outlaw, that had Jane Russell and Walter Houston and people, Thomas Mitchell. Really good movie and everything, but in this movie, she's really good. This is a great movie. It has Vincent Price in it too, as kind of a hammy, washed on the end. He's almost an actor on the outs, but he redeems himself in real life. And towards the end of the movie, really goes to Vincent Price. He just really turns in a performance that I don't know if the movie, if I could rate it just for Vincent Price, it would be worth watching. But all the stars do really good in it. Great direction, moves at a good pace. Got some real tense scenes. I mean, and that's why it's one of the classic film noirs of all time. His Kind of Woman. Highly recommend that, guys. Next up, I have a movie directed by Robert Wise. I remember seeing this a long time ago when I was a kid, and it was just great. The performance of the actress Susan Hayward in this was just phenomenal. The movie's called I Want to Live, and it's based on I think it's based on a true story. She won an Oscar for her performance in this. She's kind of I don't know what you could say she was. She's, one of the things it says here is prostitute, party girl, perjurer, petty criminal. She's all of this and more, but is she a murderer? Basically being set up as a murderer. She's in prison. She's going to get, the electric chair. She's trying to clear herself all the way up to the end. I mean, what can I say about this movie? This movie is phenomenal. It is a dramatic powerhouse. It's really good. Just showing the story, showing the side of one of the gangster girls that you see in all the film noirs. The woman that's in there. This is more her story. The story of that woman that's runs with the gangsters and the criminals and stuff, and what can happen to them. So I think that's really interesting, her story and this and everything. So I'm trying to remember, this is based on Barbara Graham. I think it was a real person. It was based on her, like Barbara Graham. And Susan Hayward does really good in this. Great direction by Robert Wise. Highly recommend it. This is a Kino DVD. I think it's out of print. I think there was a Blu-ray. I think it went out of print. And then there was there might have been a Twilight Time too, and that's out of print. And they're all very expensive. So I ended up getting the DVD of the Kino. So it's a new mastered print. So it looks really good. But yeah, it's highly available on DVD and Blu-ray. So I recommend this version on a budget. If not, find that Twilight Time Blu-ray and see this movie because it's really good. I Want to Live. And finally, guys, this is another story of a gangster's girl. This is from MGM in 1958, directed by the great Nicholas Ray. He was riding pretty high in the 1950s and doing independent stuff and doing stuff for the studios. This was him going back to the studio, the big studios, and for MGM and making this movie. It's really good. It's got Robert Taylor, Sid Charisse, and Lee J. Cobb is back in this movie. It also has a great supporting role by John Ireland. The movie I'm talking about is Party Girl, not Potty Girl, but Party Girl. Really good. This just came out on Blu-ray, matter of fact. But this is, I have the DVD version from Warner Archive, but really good. Nicholas Ray directed it. It's a big, colorful CinemaScope movie from the 1950s. Really well made. Nicholas Ray really has an eye for just the whole setting, the characters. Robert Taylor is really good he plays a lawyer to mob boss Lee J. Cobb. Sid Charisse is a dancer at a local nightclub that they own and kind of live at, and she kind of goes between people. She's someone that's trying to get out of the business too, but she's held back by money, and stuff. So she ends up falling in love with Robert Taylor. Robert Taylor is also trying to get away from the mob and Lee J. Cobb, and John Ireland has eyes for Sid Charisse too. So there's a little love triangle dynamic, but Robert Taylor really rises to the top on this. He plays a lawyer that he has I think he has problems with his knees. He has an injury, a hip injury or something, and so he plays a slightly handicapped guy in this movie. But really good. Party Girl, give it a chance. This is a movie that, before I bought it, was in my cart for Amazon for a long time, and I thought it was just going to be one of those big splashy MGM 50s movies that was just going to be so-so, But it's really good, actually. It's got a few musical numbers in it. The story goes that Nicholas Ray didn't direct any of the musical numbers. It was some kind of rule in his contract where he had hands off the musical numbers, and they were set up by the choreographer. Actually directed all of those numbers and stuff, and that's one of the things that Nicholas Ray says about the movie, that he really liked this movie, but he just wished he had been able to do something with the musical numbers himself. He would have done them a little differently. But they're not intrusive, they're okay, they fit right along with the movie. So highly recommend that, Party Girl. So there you go, guys. There's some film noir. Probably gonna be the last film noir for a little while. I still got more film noir, but I gotta draw the line somewhere. I'll make some more episodes in the future, but there you go. There's a mixture of some actresses, some good actresses and actors, directors, some good films. Definitely check out High Sierra. It's new. Grab that while you can. Definitely one of the best Blu-rays of the year, hands down. And check out let me see here. Naked City. Naked City's a really good movie. Check out, do some research on the photographer Ouija and his crime photos and stuff. That was just a nickname he went by. I'm trying to think of what his real name was. It was like Donald something or something like that. Better known as Ouija. Actually, in 1992, Universal did a movie with Joe Pesci called The Private Eye, where he plays a crime photographer that's modeled exactly after Ouija too. So that might be a good movie to pair that with, just to get kind of two different ideals of Ouija, you know, the black and white and the big colorful updating movie and stuff. So I don't have that, by the way. I need to probably get that one day. But The Private Eye and The Naked City, check those out too. So enough of me blabbling on, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified when I release a new video. Also comment and give me a big old thumbs up if you like this episode. Helps with the algorithms, they say. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Take care, be safe out there, and check out some film noir tonight. Highly recommend that. Goodbye, guys.